Hey y'all, and Merry Kitschmas! We're back here for day 2 of my 12 days of Kitschmas. Yesterday kicked off the first installment of this series, where each day I will talk about the history of a popular vintage Christmas decoration and share with you pieces from my personal collection. So if you love Kitschmas as much as me, stick around for more mid-century modern Christmas cheer. I guarantee after today you will not look at a toilet bowl brush the same way again, because today we're talking about bottle brush trees. If you walk through any Christmas display these days, you'll see vintage-inspired versions of these little cuties, and I can't wait to share with you what I know about them. In 1930s London, Addis Brush Company had been around for over a century manufacturing toothbrushes when they rebranded as Addis Housewares Company and moved into the household market, manufacturing all kinds of brushes for cleaning. During the Blitz campaign by Nazi Germany against the British, Britain was bombed for 8 months between September of 1940 and May of 1941. As you can imagine, real trees were hard to come by, as most had been destroyed during the Blitz. Addis again changed course and began making artificial trees on their brush-making equipment. I told you you'd never think about a toilet bowl brush the same. Addis dyed the toilet brush bristles green and assembled them into artificial Christmas trees and wreaths of all different sizes. The introduction of these style trees increased the popularity of artificial Christmas trees. And by the end of World War II, the increased immigration into the United States brought these sweet little trees to homes all across America. Addis Brush Company continued manufacturing artificial Christmas trees alongside their toilet brushes, and then in 1950 added a patent for an aluminum Christmas tree. The silver pine, as it was called, had a rotating light source underneath it. Color gels changed the shade of the light as it revolved around the tree. This would be the beginning of the aluminum Christmas tree, which I will talk about in an upcoming video in this series. Now I'd like to share with you some of my vintage and vintage-inspired bottle brush trees. These are original bottle brush trees. These are probably from maybe the late 50s. They have a little wooden base. A lot of the early ones had a square base or a rectangular base made of wood. This one has more look like a snow pile. And as you can see, they're not perfectly cut bristles like you'll see in the ones that are manufactured nowadays. They're a lot more precise. This one does have some flocking on the green bristles, and they're really tough, so they can still be formed back, but you have to be careful how you store them, because if the bristles get bent really badly, then it's really hard to fluff them back out. Here is the same tree, but a larger version. And as you can see, it's kind of lopsided. So some of them are a little bit longer on one side, but hey, real trees in real life are not symmetrical either. So anyway, these are my vintage ones. And now I'm going to show you some of my vintage inspired ones, which have been purchased over the years. Here are some of my vintage inspired bottle brush trees. As you can see, they come in all kinds of colors. These have little wooden bases and a little bit of flocking on the ends. Here are a couple more with a little Santa. And then here's a sweet little green one. And here are those pink bottle brush trees that y'all saw that I picked up from Target. They have a little bit of flocking on them and some glitter. I really like them, and they look really cute with the color scheme that I have for my Christmas decorations. All right, so these are the last few I wanted to share with you. These white ones I picked up at Target probably about 10 years ago, and they have little balls on them, which a lot of the old vintage ones had that too, where people would decorate them. And then the blue and the mint and green ones were from a couple years ago at Target. So Target's a good place to get some bottle brush trees if you're looking for the vintage inspired variety. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this little history of bottle brush Christmas trees, and you'll run out and pick you up some vintage inspired ones, or head out to the antique store or some estate sales and find some vintage ones. I forgot to mention earlier that my name's Victoria. I'm part of a 3-person team here at Super Geeked. At Super Geeked, we celebrate all the things we get super geeked about. Obviously, you can tell that I get super geeked about mid-century modern and vintage Christmas decorations. If you're one of my reselling friends here watching this video, then it might be interesting for you also to know what the resale value of all these vintage Christmas decorations are, because there's a big market for them. Yesterday, we talked about knee hugger elves, and I wanted to share with you some of the comps of the value of these knee hugger elves, so that if you're out sourcing in a thrift store or an antique store or garage sale and you see these, this might interest you to be able to resell. But knee hugger elves can go anywhere from $15 on up a piece, and they sell really well in lots where you can get around $50 for a lot of 2 or 3 of them. So that's a great resale value. If you can pick them up at an estate sale for a couple dollars, that's a great flip for you. Same thing with bottle brush trees. Bottle brush trees are a little more saturated in the market, meaning there's a lot of vintage inspired ones that people can get in a lot of different colors, as you saw from mine. The vintage ones look very different, as you saw in this video, but the vintage ones are very sought after because they're a lot rarer. So I'm also going to put up some comps of the resale value of these bottle brush trees. And as you can see, vintage Christmas decorations are a hot market. So they might be something that you would be interested in looking into. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you haven't already subscribed to our channel, I hope that you would consider doing that. Hit that bell notification, because I'll be back tomorrow with another video for the 12 days of Kitschmas. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. See you next time. Bye.